I never thought I'd meet him at midnight. Not like that. Not when the city was holding its breath, when even the streetlights seemed unsure if they should stay awake or fade into darkness. Midnight was always a strange hour. Not quite the end of one day, not fully the beginning of another. A moment suspended between decisions, regrets, and things left unsaid. That night, everything felt heavier. The streets were empty, the kind of empty that makes you feel like you've stepped into a place you're not supposed to be. Fog curled lazily around the streetlights, wrapping the road in pale ribbons of white. Each lamp cast a weak, trembling glow, barely strong enough to push back the darkness that pressed in from every direction. Every step I took echoed louder than it should have. My shoes tapped against the pavement, and with each sound, my heart raced a little faster. I told myself to slow down, to breathe normally, but my body didn't listen. Every shadow stretched too long. Every alley felt like it was watching me. I kept glancing over my shoulder. I didn't know why, or maybe I did and I just didn't want to admit it. The feeling that someone was following me clung to my spine, cold and persistent. Sometimes I thought I heard footsteps behind me, but when I turned, there was nothing. Just fog. Just silence. I tried to laugh it off, tried to tell myself I was being dramatic, but the night didn't let me forget. The air smelled damp, metallic, like rain that had fallen hours ago and never fully disappeared. Somewhere in the distance, a siren wailed, then faded, swallowed by the fog. It reminded me how far away help would be if something went wrong, and yet I kept walking, because part of me already knew I would. I saw him before I reached the corner. He was standing under the dim glow of a street lamp, exactly where he said he would be. The light barely touched his face, leaving half of it hidden in shadow. He didn't move when he noticed me. He didn't wave. He just waited, as if he'd been there for hours, or maybe forever. Our eyes met. There was no recognition on his face, no surprise, no warmth, just a calm, unreadable expression that made my stomach tighten. It was the kind of look that made you feel exposed, like he could see things about you that you'd never said out loud. I stopped a few steps away. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Time stretched thin, like it might snap if either of us moved too suddenly. I could hear my heartbeat pounding in my ears, loud and insistent, counting the seconds I'd already spent standing there. I wanted to speak. I'd rehearsed what I would say 100 times, simple words, honest words. But when I opened my mouth, nothing came out. My voice failed me, trapped somewhere between fear and anticipation. He tilted his head slightly, as if listening for something only he could hear. That small movement brought a rush of memories crashing back. The first time I saw him was months ago. It had been in a crowded place, somewhere ordinary, somewhere safe. He had been hidden in plain sight, just another face in the crowd. And yet, the moment our eyes met, something shifted. A smile, subtle, fleeting, crossed his face. It wasn't meant for anyone else. I knew that. That smile followed me long after he disappeared. I tried to tell myself it was nothing, just a coincidence, just a stranger I happened to notice. But days passed, and then weeks, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd seen him before, that he was connected to something I couldn't quite remember. Every now and then, I'd catch a glimpse of someone who looked like him, a reflection in a window, a figure at the edge of a crowd. Each time, my heart would jump, only to sink when I realized it wasn't him. Or so I thought. Standing there under the street lamp, I realized how wrong I'd been. "I shouldn't be here," I finally whispered. My voice sounded smaller than I expected, swallowed by the fog. He didn't respond. He didn't need to. The silence between us said enough. I knew this was dangerous. Every instinct I had warned me to turn around, to walk away, to forget this night ever happened. But there was something stronger than fear pulling me forward. Curiosity, maybe. Or something darker. We both carried secrets. I could feel it in the way he stood, relaxed but alert, like someone who had learned long ago not to trust the world. If those secrets were revealed, they wouldn't just hurt us. They could destroy us both. I took a step closer. The shadows seemed to move with me, dancing between us, stretching and shifting as if they wanted to keep us apart. The streetlight flickered just once, and my breath caught in my throat. He leaned in slightly. His voice, when he finally spoke, was barely more than a whisper. It brushed past me like a cold breeze, sending chills down my spine. I couldn't make out the words, but I felt their weight. They settled deep, somewhere beneath my ribs. "I didn't think you'd come," he said. "Neither did I admitted. Another pause. The fog thickened, wrapping around us like a curtain. For a brief moment, it felt like the rest of the world had disappeared, leaving only the two of us suspended in time. I told him the truth. All of it. The fear, the memories that didn't quite make sense, the feeling that my life had been quietly steering me toward this moment long before I understood why. Each word felt like a confession, heavy but relieving, as if I'd been holding my breath for months and was only now allowed to exhale. He listened without interrupting. When I finished, I waited. I waited for anger, for denial, for something, anything that would tell me I hadn't made a mistake. But he said nothing. His expression didn't change. The silence stretched again, uncomfortable and sharp. Then, without warning, he stepped back. The fog surged between us, thicker than before. The streetlight flickered once more, then steadied. And just like that, he was gone. No footsteps, no farewell, no explanation. I stood there, alone, staring at the empty space where he had been. The night felt colder. I didn't know how long I stayed there. Minutes, maybe, or hours. Time had lost its meaning. Eventually, the fog began to thin, and the street felt like a street again. Empty, quiet, ordinary. But I knew better. Some things, once revealed, can't be taken back. Some secrets change shape when they're spoken aloud, becoming something that follows you long after the words fade. As I finally turned to leave, a question lingered in my mind. Do you ever wonder what happens when secrets are kept at midnight? Because some stories are never meant to be told, and yet, I had to share mine.